Welcome, Curstlings. Cursed Lord Trevor here on part 2 to the Necrons Tasseract Vault. In our previous video, we undercoated with lead belcher for our inner hull. I have decided to go into a different direction and am using Abaddon Black to paint the whole inside model. In painting, when you use a darker undercoat, you end up getting darker tones. On the flip side, the same can be said about using lighter tones. If you want it to be lighter, you use maybe an undercoat of white to bring out more brighter colors. With Abaddon Black fully applied, I am now using Stegadon Scale Green base coat to cover all the places where I had the black. Next, I wash the model with Colia Green Shade, making sure I get only the parts with Stegadon Scale Green. I now use Sotek Green to dry brush on all the raised areas. While dry brushing, you can flick back and forth, or you can do small circles to get more area. And I am applying more pressure to get more paint off the brush. Using the same technique, I dry brush Temple Guard Blue. I use less pressure here. We build up colors like this to make the colors pop. I use Runor Brass to get the inner spine as well as the rim around the silver area. I also use Runelord Brass to get all the little scarabs and painting all their little appendages. I now switch to Retributor Armor to get the outer rim of the weapon socket. Next up, we use Cryptek Armor Shade on all the areas where we painted with Runelord Brass, as well as the scarabs. With that done, we now use Reikland Flesh Shade on all the gold. I now switch to Seraphim Sepia to get all the silver areas. Next, we prep with Pallid Witch Flesh within the weapon socket, as well as the large scarab power supply. If you want to test your sanity, you can get the little small scarab's backs with Pallid Witch Flesh. If you did go that route, you'll have to add Seraphim Sepia to all the cracks of those small scarabs to add definition. Next, we use Tasseract Glow for the weapon socket, the power supply for the large scarab, as well as the power supply for the small scarabs. While painting, I forgot to use Necron compound on all the silver, gold, and Runelord brass, so I went back and did this now. With all that done, all that's left to do is to base coat with Retributor armor on the actual weapon apparatus that we're going to place there. But first, we're going to have to wash it with Reikland Flesh Shade. Once that is dry, we're going to dry brush Necron compound. And then all you have to do is attach it to the model. Beautiful. And there you have it. We are done with part 2 of the Tasseract Vault. Stay tuned till next week for part 3, where we paint the supports.